Brad Pitt is a pretty great actor, and we all know that without him, some of the movies we've seen would feel a little less exciting, at least to some degree. What you might not know is that this actor, Brad Pitt, was once a giant chicken for El Pollo Loco, the Mexican-style grilled chicken restaurant. So, how did a man in a giant chicken costume work his way up to become one of Hollywood's biggest stars? Let's find out. In today's video, we'll go through Brad Pitt's life story, family life, and his involvement in real estate. Be sure to watch till the end. You definitely don't want to miss anything. The Hollywood star started out like so many others in Hollywood, struggling to make a name for himself. Wasn't until 1991 when he appeared in Thelma and Louise that people really took notice. Soon enough, he was starring in hit movies like Fight Club in 1999, Ocean's 11 in 2001, and Inglourious Basterds in 2009. And then in 2019, Brad's performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood landed him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, and yes, we all know he deserved it. But Brad's talents aren't just confined to acting. In the 2000s, he teamed up with Jennifer Aniston to co-found Plan B Entertainment. The company has produced some incredible films, including 12 Years a Slave and Moonlight, both of which won the Best Picture Oscar. With a net worth around $400 million, Brad's also been active in giving back. In 2007, he started the Make It Right Foundation and aimed at rebuilding homes in New Orleans' lower 9th Ward after Hurricane Katrina. While the project had good intention, it ran into trouble with structural issues in the homes, which led to lawsuits and ultimately a $20.5 million settlement in 2022. Still, Brad never turned his back on people in need. And why? Well, it all stems from his background. Brad Pitt, or William Bradley Pitt, was born on December 18, 1963 in Shawnee, Oklahoma. He was the oldest of 3 kids in a Southern Baptist family. His dad, William Alvin Pitt, worked at a trucking company, and his mom, Janetta, was his school counselor. The family moved to Springfield, Missouri when Brad was still pretty young. It was in Springfield where Brad grew up alongside his younger brother Doug and sister Julie. Brad's childhood was deeply rooted in his Christian upbringing. You could call him a church boy, as he was very active in church activities and even sang in the church choir. He went to Kickapoo High School, where he got involved in sports like golf, swimming, and tennis. He was a part of the school's key and forensics clubs and participated in debates and musicals. I bet his parents must have been really proud of him. After high school, he headed to the University of Missouri in 1982, studying journalism but focusing on advertising. But as graduation was getting close, he realized that settling down wasn't for him just yet. Well, unlike his mates. 2 weeks before finishing his degree, Brad made a bold choice to move to Los Angeles for one thing: his acting dream. Like most actors, it was a really rocky road for him, to some extent, literally. He took on all sorts of odd jobs, from driving limousines for strippers to moving refrigerators and even dressing up as a giant chicken for El Pollo Loco. Yet still, while flapping and squawking like a chicken, he continued to study acting, attending lessons, and auditioning for roles. Brad's big break came in 1991 with Thelma and Louise, where he played J.D., a charming drifter. That role really put him on the map and opened doors for even bigger roles like A River Runs Through It in 1992 and Legends of the Fall in 1994. His versatility as an actor stood out, and people began to see him as more than just a pretty face, more like a pretty face with some serious acting charisma. Reflecting on his early life, Brad has mentioned how growing up in a strict Christian household led him to question his beliefs during his younger years. He talked about it being a tough time for him, where he went through a phase of being agnostic and atheism. But over time, he found a personal understanding of spirituality. Brad Pitt's personal life has been just as much in the spotlight as his career, with his relationships and family making headlines over the years. It all started in 1998 when he began dating Jennifer Aniston. Their romance was everywhere, and the media loved the Hollywood's golden couple. The two tied the knot on July 29, 2000 in Malibu, but things took a turn in January 2005 when they announced their separation. By October of that year, their divorce was finalized. Not long after his split from Aniston, Brad found love again. this time with actress Angelina Jolie as co-star in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Like with Jennifer Aniston, their relationship quickly became a media sensation and people started calling them Brangelina. They were together for more than 10 years, during which they adopted and had biological children. In 2014, they married at their estate in France, but in 2016, things fell apart and Jolie filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Together, Brad and Angelina have 6 children: Maddox, Pax, Zahara, Shiloh, Knox, and Vivian. Over time, some of them have dropped Brad's last name, with Shiloh making headlines in May 2024 when she filed to legally remove Pitt from her surname on her 18th birthday, which apparently upset Brad. As of December 2024, Brad has limited contact with his adult children, which reports have been saying has virtually no contact with them. His relationship with his younger kids is also more limited, mainly because of his busy filming career. In November 2022, Brad started dating jewelry designer Inez de Ramon, and by September 2024, the couple made their red carpet debut at the Venice Film Festival. They've been spending time together at Brad's French winery, Chateau Miraval, though there are still ongoing legal disputes with Jolie over the property. Speaking about property, Brad Pitt has had his name tagged in the real estate world for his residences. From my research, well, he should have a little over 5 places. He first picked up the Los Feliz compound in Briarcliff Manor back in 1994, snagging the 6,700 square foot craftsman-style house for $1.7 million. And trust me, with this home, he didn't just stop there, he kept expanding, adding adjacent homes until the property grew to a sprawling 1.9 acres. By the time he was all said and done, the estate had 7 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 2 swimming pools, a tennis court, and even a skate park. It was where he and Angelina Jolie called a family home a home. But in early 2023, Brad threw the property into the market for a whopping $33 million. The Chateau Miraval, tucked away in the charming village of Cornez in Provence, France, had everything from a 35-room chateau, stunning gardens with a moat, fountains, to even ancient aqueducts. There's also a pond, a chapel, and some of the most beautiful vineyards you could ever imagine. In 2011, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie fell in love with the estate and decided to make it their own. They didn't just buy a piece of land, they dove into the world of winemaking, partnering up with the Perrin family to produce some seriously well-loved rosé wines. Interestingly, the chateau was also home to the famous Studio Merveille, which attracted some pretty iconic artists like Pink Floyd, AC/DC, and the Cranberries. Later in 2022, though, the studio was renovated and rebranded as Miraval Studios. But things got a bit complicated after Brad and Angelina's divorce. Angelina sold her half of the estate to Tenute del Mondo, a subsidiary of the Stoli Group, back in 2021. Brad wasn't too happy about that and has taken legal action, claiming she sold her shares without his approval. Even with all the drama, Brad didn't give up on the property. In 2022, he and the Perrin family teamed up again, this time to create Fleur de Miraval, a rosé champagne from the Champagne region of France. Back in 2005, Brad Pitt acquired a modern beach house in Malibu for $8.4 million. Built in 1962, the place covers 4,088 square feet with 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Floor-to-ceiling glass walls let in tons of light and offer pretty nice views of the Pacific Ocean and Point Mugu State Park. Inside, the home has sleek dark bamboo flooring, a stainless steel kitchen with a walk-in refrigerator, and even a retractable garage-style wall that opens straight onto the lawn. That wasn't enough, there's a private stairway leading right down to the beach, tennis court, and a lap pool. Brad put a lot of work into the house, renovating it before he decided to sell it in 2011 for $13.75 million. It ended up being sold to Ellen DeGeneres later that year for $12 million. Brad Pitt's 11.5-acre oceanfront estate near Santa Barbara is the perfect show of his love for architecture and design. He picked it up for $4 million back in 2000, and over the years, it became a peaceful retreat for him and his family. The property features a beautiful 6,692 square foot craftsman-style main house, which blends perfectly with the natural surroundings. There's also a large outdoor swimming pool and a private tennis pavilion. Fast forward to 2023, and Brad decided to sell the estate to oil heiress Aileen Getty for $33 million, which is a pretty impressive leap in value. In 2006, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie bought a mansion in New Orleans, French Quarter for $3.5 million. This 7,650 square foot home, built in the 1830s, had Venetian plastered walls, custom marble mantels, and original crown moldings. Inside, there are 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and 2 half baths, along with a chef's kitchen, home gym, and a private courtyard that comes with a pool and fountain. After their divorce in 2016, Brad sold the mansion for $4.9 million. Since then, the property has changed hands a few times, with it being auctioned off in 2023 for $2.8 million, setting a new record for the highest sale of a single-family home in the French Quarter in over a year. In July 2022, Brad Pitt purchased the D.L. James House in Carmel Highlands, California, for a cool $40 million. His craftsman-style beauty, designed by architect Charles Summer Green in 1918, sits high on a bluff with breathtaking views of the Pacific Ocean. The house is made from locally quarried sandstone and granite, with a red Mediterranean-style tiled roof and arched windows. The design's inspired by Cornwall's Tintagel Castle, giving the home the feel of growing right out of the rock beneath it. Inside, the rooms are spacious and grand, with intimate spaces that feature maritime motifs carved right into the stone. The main house includes 3 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, plus there's a 1-bedroom caretaker's cottage built in 1940. For 2 decades, the D.L. James House was a summer retreat for the James family, and over the years, it's welcomed some pretty famous guests like Jesse James, Charlie Chaplin, and Joan Didion. It's easy to see why Brad would want to add this to his collection. Finally, let's talk about Brad's most recent purchase in 2023. He bought a stunning mid-century modern home in Los Feliz, a neighborhood in Los Angeles famous for its unique architecture and historic vibe. He paid $5.5 million for the Steel House, a 2,000 square foot residence designed by architect Neil M. Johnson in 1960. The house really looked the whole point with mid-century design, a bit too seriously with its clean lines and open, functional space. Inside, the house has terrazzo floors, beam ceilings, and large windows that bring in plenty of natural light, offering a beautiful view of the city and surrounding hills. The layout is all about creating a welcoming, spacious atmosphere, making it perfect for some entertaining and relaxing. The exterior is just as striking, with a rectangular roofline and a blend of steel and glass that fits perfectly into its natural surroundings. The property is also surrounded by lush greenery, providing a peaceful, private retreat. While there aren't many details about whether Brad has sold the home, his purchase shows his love for architecture and its rich history. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on our latest videos. See you in the next one.